It doesn't feel like aging at first. It feels like you're just hitting snooze and skipping your morning stretch, telling yourself you'll get back on the mats once things in your personal life settle down a bit. And that's all it takes. Death by 1,000 tiny slip-ups. And then the decline begins. Your hips start to feel tight. Your joints start to ache, even though you haven't been training much at all. If you're an older grappler and stop moving, even for a little while, the aging process that you worked so hard to slow down speeds back up and comes crushing down on you. And the longer you let it run unchecked, the harder it is to get back on track. Like the guy who puts on a few pounds, and then a few more, and then a few more. Then one day he wakes up and realizes he's over 30 pounds heavier. And he's wondering, where the hell did all this extra weight come from? It came from a bunch of tiny decisions that he made along the way. And his jiu-jitsu game, full of cobwebs. And that's what we're talking about today. How to stop this slide, rebuild your system, and reclaim your mojo before it's too late. Welcome to the Alchemy of Struggle, baby. So this isn't one of those videos based on a viewer's comment or an email that I received. It's based on my own very recent, very personal experience. And it's a sharp reminder that no system, no matter how dialed in and how well thought out, is immune to drift when you take your eyes off the ball. I've built a pretty tight protocol for myself over the years. Mat time, clean fuel, daily stretching, and strength work. But over the last several weeks, things slipped up a bit. Some scheduling chaos with my day job, some pretty serious stressors in my personal life, keeping up with the YouTube channels that I manage, just enough to throw me off course. And then came the wake-up call. I stepped on the scale and I had crossed my own red line. It's a number on the scale that when I go over it, it's time to break glass and execute the emergency plan. That number is 220 pounds. I got on the scale and I was 225. Now some of you might be thinking, dude, what's the big deal? It's only 5 pounds. But it's not about the 5 pounds. It's where the 5 pounds leads. I know people who were in tip-top shape years ago, and today they are 50 and 60 pounds overweight. And they've just gotten used to it. That's what that red line represents. Movement isn't just a lifestyle choice at this stage of the game. It's mandatory for longevity on and off the mats. And it's how you hold the line against time. And when that chain breaks, even briefly, the years come rushing back in. Jiu-Jitsu for me isn't just a workout. It's a keystone habit. There's this book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And in it, he explains that a keystone habit is one of those actions that naturally sets off a set of chain reactions. He talks about a woman who decided to quit smoking, but then she realized she needed something to replace the smoking habit. So she started running. And then she realized if she improved her diet, it might help her running. And if she improved her sleep, it might help her running. She had this series of habits that were born from the decision to stop smoking and to start running. This is a keystone habit. For me, and I suspect for a lot of you who are watching this video, that keystone habit is getting on the mats. When I'm training jiu-jitsu, all the other stuff comes easy. I do my morning stretches without having to force it. I eat clean without having to summon willpower. I follow a strength program that's specifically designed for grapplers. But when jiu-jitsu disappears from that schedule, even for a brief period, everything else begins to slip. And what starts as a small gap becomes a full-blown system failure. The first thing to go was my mobility routine, and then it cascaded from there. The tension came back into my joints, and transitions on the mat when I did show up felt clunky. At this age, stretching isn't just about flexibility. It's about circulation and joint integrity. Not to mention long-term injury prevention. Skip it for too long, and the body doesn't just tighten, it ages fast. Next came the diet. It didn't completely fall apart overnight. It was subtle. A bit of extra takeout, late night snacks, skipping my post-training elixir, or just grabbing something quick and convenient. And then the inflammation slowly started creeping back in. Old injuries started murmuring. The one thing I did keep up the most was lifting. I used to think lifting could carry me when the mat work fell off. But even there, something felt off. Lifting supports the mat. It's not a replacement for it. And when the system's out of balance, training becomes a long, hard slog. And that's when it finally hit me. I'm starting to feel old and slow. It's because I'm barely moving. So there's a simple rule that I thought I knew, but I got a little too comfortable, and that's all it took. It's ruthless and it's non-negotiable. Don't stop moving. Not for too long and not without a plan. And this doesn't mean you train through exhaustion or you don't take breaks. It means if you pause with precision. Because there's a difference between resting and drifting. Look, every 6 to 8 weeks, I take a recovery week. Light rolls only. Mobility stays on the calendar. And my diet stays clean. That's not slacking off. That's strategy. But when rest turns into drift, the whole machine starts slipping. And eventually, the body taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey bro, we're starting to age again." So here's what I call the Alchemy protocol. Recommitting to the foundation. Daily movement and regular training, no matter what. Clean fuel. It keeps the inflammation down. Intentional recovery. Not random breaks, but structured resets. Don't wait for your joints to start screaming at you. Don't get so far past your red line that you can't even see it anymore. And don't wait until the inside starts dimming. You don't have to follow my protocol. Create your own. Just make sure you stick to it. And if you fall off because, well, life happens, don't beat yourself up. Break the glass, pull out the emergency plan, and get your ass to work. Because shifting your mindset and getting back into the game produces immediate positive results. When I showed up last night on the mats, after making this mindset shift, it completely changed how I moved. I was focused, intentional, and completely dialed in. I'll be under 220 pounds within a few short weeks. So if you've been stuck there for too long, man, just get moving. Because if you stay there, time reclaims everything you fought to preserve. And if you haven't seen it already, check out the video on this channel that talks about how to return to Jiu Jitsu after taking years off. And if any of this hit home, make sure you check out some of the free downloads in the description. Or join the channel membership if you want to go deeper. And as always, I want to thank the subscribers and the commenters for helping me level up this content. But remember, there are others who need this message. So let's help them find it. Like, share, and subscribe. Keep up the good fight and stay safe on those mats. Peace.